Greetings, esteemed viewers. Step into a shadowed age where royal gold and mighty crowns could not stop a phantom terror. Forget the dreaded Black Death. A completely unseen demon struck the heart of England with profound and terrifying speed.
A wealthy duke at his vibrant morning feast could easily become a tragic memory before the stroke of midnight.
Known to history as the sweating sickness, this rapid plague mysteriously hunted only the wealthy elite. How exactly did this nightmare begin? And why did it simply vanish so suddenly? Let us uncover the hidden truth.
The year is 1528.
The magnificent Tudor castles shine with endless wealth, power, and absolute glory. A proud and healthy nobleman raises his silver goblet, celebrating a vibrant and truly peaceful morning. Suddenly, a violent shiver aggressively runs down his spine. The cold chill of a tragic fate touches his skin. Within mere hours, the robust and mighty duke collapses onto his heavy wooden bed, desperately gasping for air. His face turns a truly terrifying shade of red, burning with an incredibly intense, unnatural fever. Sweat heavily pours from his trembling body like rain, completely soaking his fine and elegant white linen shirt. The pungent scent of sickness entirely fills the dark room. He mutters in wild delirium as his mind fades. By heavy nightfall, the once incredibly mighty lord takes his final breath, leaving his servants in absolute shock. According to the ancient chronicles, the disease was incredibly swift. You could be perfectly well at dawn, and by the time the golden sun finally reached its peak, you were nothing but a devastatingly tragic memory. Complete panic sweeps through the royal court like a fiercely raging wildfire. No massive walls can keep this demon out. Lords and ladies quickly lock their heavy oak doors, praying to God, completely terrified of their own shadows. However, the sweating sickness absolutely does not care for wealth. It bypasses the poor and targets the elite. Why exactly did this strange plague specifically hunt the most powerful and well-fed people in the realm? Modern historians note that the affluent diets and sedentary lives of nobles may have truly made them weak. Absolute fear paralyzes the government. The streets of London empty as the wealthy flee to the countryside. Yet no matter wherever they run, the phantom shadow continuously follows, striking them down in remote mansions. Husbands tragically lose their beloved wives in the blink of an eye. Children are left orphaned in empty, dark halls. The vibrant Tudor era suddenly transforms into a silent, weeping graveyard of the rich and famous. Secret funerals happen in the dark of night. There are no grand ceremonies, only hasty, fearful burials. Even the most exceptionally skilled royal physicians stand entirely helpless before this aggressive demise. Every known medical remedy fails. Herbs, prayers, and bleeding offer absolutely no protection at all. To fully understand this terror, we must bravely travel back in time to the very roots of the Tudor dynasty. Imagine facing a formidable enemy you cannot fight, hide from, or bribe. What would you do to survive? The dark origins of this violent nightmare are deeply tied to brutal war and a desperate grab for the throne. Let us return to the heavy, fog-covered fields of 1485, where a new era violently began. The Wars of the Roses have finally ended, but a much darker, invisible war is just about to start. A newly victorious king proudly claims his crown, completely unaware of the deadly curse he has just brought home. The fierce Battle of Bosworth Field. Henry Tudor stands triumphant, wearing his heavily battle-scratched armor. He has gloriously defeated King Richard III, securing the legendary throne for his own royal bloodline. But his army relies heavily on dirty, exhausted mercenary soldiers brought over from mainland Europe. Many modern scholars strongly believe these foreign fighters carried a dormant, lethal virus in their unwashed camps. As victorious troops march toward London, they unknowingly unleashed the terrifying biological weapon. Merely weeks after Henry VII's grand coronation, the terrifying sweating sickness claims its first tragic souls. 2 Lord Mayors of London and 6 powerful aldermen perish in a matter of days, deeply shocking the city. The young king anxiously watches in horror as his closest allies melt away in pools of their own boiling sweat. It strikes incredibly hard, fades away, and then abruptly returns to haunt his infamous son, King Henry VIII. Renowned for his immense size and ruthless power, King Henry VIII is genuinely terrified of only one thing. He naturally fears disease much more than any foreign army. The mere mention of the terrible sweat makes him tremble. When the dreadful plague returns in 1528, the once mighty monarch completely loses his royal nerve. He abandons his grand palaces, running frantically from countryside house to isolated countryside house. He even tragically leaves behind his beloved mistress, the beautiful Anne Boleyn, as she falls dangerously ill. Anne lies helplessly alone in a massive 4-poster bed, her pale skin flushed red, gasping in absolute agony. She survives by a miraculous turn, but many of the king's wealthy courtiers are not so incredibly lucky. Henry demands his doctors find a cure, locking himself away, refusing to see anyone from the outside. He rapidly drinks strange herbal potions and sleeps with massive fires burning, desperately hoping to stay safe. The historical irony is striking. The man who breaks with Rome and severs wives cowers before a tiny germ. But what exactly was this mysterious plague? It entirely lacked the horrific black boils of the dreaded bubonic plague. There were no ugly skin sores, no violent coughing fits of crimson essence, just an unbearable, burning heat and an intensely overwhelming urge to sleep. A sleep so deep and heavy that the victim would never wake up. The widespread terror was psychological as much as physical. Anyone could be the very next tragic victim. The wealthy elite watched each other closely at grand feasts, intensely looking for the slightest bead of sweat on a forehead. Even a single cough or a sudden chill was enough to fully clear a massive dining hall in absolute panic. True friendship and loyalty vanished. Servants abruptly abandoned their dying masters to save their own fragile lives. England was deeply trapped in a cycle of dread. They needed medical salvation, but science was truly blind. If brilliant doctors today could not explain a sudden, lethal plague, how long until society completely broke down? Enter the famed Tudor medical experts. Dressed in dark, exceptionally heavy robes, armed with ancient, useless knowledge, they firmly believed in the miasma theory, the idea that toxic, foul air carried the deadly disease. To block the bad air, anxious physicians ordered all castle windows to be tightly sealed and heavily boarded up. Fresh outside air was strictly forbidden. The sick rooms became suffocating, dark, and incredibly hot ovens. The dreadful treatment protocols were practically a death sentence, causing far more harm than the actual illness. Strict doctors commanded that the patient must fully sweat out the evil poison, no matter the terrible cost. They quickly piled massive layers of thick, heavy wool blankets on top of the already burning, feverish, dying lords. The victims desperately begged for a single drop of cool water, but the cruel physicians absolutely refused them. Modern medicine reveals the deeply tragic truth. These noble patients simply perished from extreme, fatal heat stroke. The forced sweating caused severe dehydration, stopping their fragile hearts in a violently painful, rapid manner. Furthermore, these strict doctors genuinely believed that if a patient fell asleep, their fragile soul would simply drift away. So exhausted guards were firmly ordered to stand by the bed, shaking the suffering patient awake for endless hours, striking them gently with rosemary branches, desperately forcing them to stay conscious in their fiery, living hell. This sleep deprivation only weakened their immunity, accelerating their inevitable, dark demise. It was a truly horrific time to be wealthy. The poor, working in open fields, were largely left completely untouched. Perhaps the open air and active lifestyles of the peasant class gave them a profoundly mysterious and strong shield. As the tragic death toll rapidly mounted, a profound sense of doom settled over the once vibrant English countryside. Priests desperately claimed it was God's righteous anger, severely punishing the elite for their endless greed and dark sins. Wave after relentless wave, the sickness returned, ravaging the ruling class for 6 long, terrifying decades. By the year 1551, the sweating sickness finally unleashed its most devastating and deadly wave. Thousands of prominent lives were tragically lost within weeks, leaving the royal court in complete, absolute despair. Defeated doctors dropped their ancient scrolls, falling to their knees as the phantom shadow claimed their powerful patrons. And then, just as incredibly quickly and mysteriously as it had first arrived, the disease completely vanished. It completely faded into the cold mists of English history, never to return to the mortal realm, ever again. Its terribly sudden disappearance left a profound, haunting silence across the empty, extravagant palace halls. Even to this very day, the English sweat remains one of history's greatest unsolved medical mysteries. Without any physical evidence, scientists can only offer highly educated, dark theories. Modern experts strongly suggest it was an early and highly aggressive form of a lethal hantavirus. Born by small rodents, it could have very easily thrived in the extremely damp, crowded environments of Tudor armies. Others strongly believe it might have been a completely unique, highly mutated strain of a violent flu. The exceedingly rich dietary habits of the lords might have made their bodies strangely vulnerable to the germ. Whatever its true biological nature, the horrific plague left behind a powerful, grim legacy. It ruthlessly exposed the ultimate fragility of human power, endless wealth, and aristocratic status. A king could order a tragic demise, but he could absolutely never command a virus to simply stop. The dark shadow walked right past the muddy peasant farms to proudly stalk the golden hallways of the Tudor dynasty. The chilling image of the Grim Reaper floating past an empty, velvet-covered throne became a dark reality. In the end, the English sweating sickness was a truly agonizing reminder of our shared mortality. A profoundly stark lesson showing that nature always holds the absolute, terrifying dominion over mankind. It struck with truly incredible vengeance, vanquished the proud, and completely faded into the black shadows. Today, modern chroniclers pore over ancient, fragile records, trying to piece together this macabre puzzle. Medical historians strongly warn us that hidden pathogens can always emerge from the unseen, quiet dark. The terrible sweat is a haunting ghost story, written not in fiction, but in the tragic fate of famous nobles. As we closely gaze upon the magnificent Tudor portraits, we must remember the cold fear hiding behind their eyes. An entire proud generation of aristocrats lived in absolute terror of their own trembling, wet skin. The sweating sickness is an incredibly sobering warning about the profound arrogance of high society. It completely and utterly shattered the grand illusion that fine velvet and massive stone walls could buy eternal life. It clearly proved that mighty kings, dukes, and wealthy merchants are ultimately bound by the strict laws of biology. If a strange, completely unknown plague emerged from the shadows today, would our modern society be prepared? Would our remarkably advanced medicine save us? Or would we succumb to the same frantic, blinding, royal panic? The restless ghosts of the Grand Tudor Court silently whisper to us through the forgotten, damp pages of our time. They constantly remind us to deeply respect the microscopic forces that silently shape our human history. This dark chapter is a true testament to survival and the profound, enduring resilience of man.
Even though the sickness disappeared, its terrifying psychological scars forever marked the heavy royal crown. It absolutely remains a fascinating case study in the dramatic, unpredictable theater of life.
Let us never forget the truly helpless dukes who desperately traded their massive fortunes for cold water.
For in the majestic, grand tapestry of life, the invisible threats often command the most absolute respect. Tell us, was this ruthless plague a mere act of nature, or a dark, terrifying punishment aimed at Tudor elites? Please leave your deepest thoughts about this profoundly terrifying medical mystery in the comments section below. Please like, share, and faithfully subscribe to our channel today for even more truly fascinating secrets.